Okay. So one of the things that we can do now to make this look better is we can use more of the data. So if you go to the raw data, you'll see that we actually get like a profile picture back and who told the joke, and then obviously the full joke. So we want to use some or other vaadin component that makes it look better. The one that we're going to use is a message list, which just display things in a message. So we'll have the user icon there, and then the username and the joke. Right. Now, to use this component, they expect, or one of the ways that you can use it is they expect items in a specific format, which contains this object. Right. So yeah, the first thing that we need to do is obviously import the component. So let's get to our code. Right, so we're going to use the vaadin component message list, so we'll import that, and then where we display in our template, when we build up this unordered list, we will change that to now be a vaadin list. We'll still pass in the jokes, but now the jokes need to be in the format that the message list expects to render it. So we need to make sure that we change that. Let's remove this, and we'll clean up the loading message in a minute. Let's first make sure that in the constructor, when we set this jokes, that we actually change this to be something like this, where we I probably need to add items. Let me just grab it somewhere. So items will just be a temporary array. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll just create this temporary array which will now build up the message list format of a joke. So we'll go through all our build time data and then call this method that makes that joke. So we need to implement that method. We'll just add it at the bottom here. So we'll give it a JSON RPC joke, and it will return a message, vaadin message list format joke, where we now have the full joke in the text. We have the timestamp, we have the username, and we have the profile picture. Because of that, we also want a method where we can very easily add to this list of jokes and convert again from a JSON RPC to a message list one. So now we will, where we used to just here add it to the JSON RPC result to the jokes, we want to basically now say first convert it, right? So that one and this one. So the one that comes from the streaming and the one that comes from when you click the button. Okay, so that will give us the jokes in a better looking list, hopefully. So let's look at the message where we render we're busy. We can probably use a progress bar, which will be a nice looking component to use. So vaadin has got a progress bar here, so you can get the code, see how it works here. Yeah, and we will add the message like something like this in there. So now where we create the loading message here, we will change this. It's not a list item anymore, it's now showing the message and then showing the vaadin bar. Right, and then the last thing that we want to change is these two buttons, which at the moment is just links. So vaadin has got a very nice set of buttons which you can style into different actions. So yeah, and then they have a checkbox, obviously, like this one. So we'll just use those two. So back in our code, we'll import those and replace those two links with that. So I'll just do this for now. and then I'll show you what we've done. So we call the same method again. There's no difference there. Same with that. We don't need this title to change anymore, so we can just remove that, because we'll just always say stream jokes continuously, and the checkbox will indicate whether or not it's on or off. So we can remove that. We can actually then remove this. We don't need this anymore. And now we can also change the method, this one here, that decides whether or not we want to start or stop, because here we had to check the previous state to determine the new state. Now we can actually just check the state of the check box, and that means that we also don't need this anymore and this anymore, and we already setting that, so we don't need that. And here is actually now, if it is streaming, that's what the user already said. So this is, we don't start it, the user has already indicated that, so we just need to switch these two around. Right. Yeah. Let's take this up. And I think that should be enough. Let's save and see what happens. Okay, so I've rebuilt. Let's refresh this page and see if it looks any better. Yeah, so now you can see nice photo avatars, you can see the date, you can read the joke, and if you click more, you have a nice loading button. And let's see if we stream jokes. Okay, the streaming didn't work because I forgot to pass the event along. Right, so because we now get the state from the event, so we'll just show that again. Okay, so now if I click that, you can see, there we go, so we get more jokes. Yeah, so that was pretty easy to make it look better. There's obviously a whole lot of components that you can use to make things look nicer. Yeah, but that's the role of vaadin in our Dev UI.